Before we dive into this spine-chilling story, please subscribe now for daily tales you won't want to miss. I'm new to town, looking for a change. After a few bad decisions, I'm ready to leave all that behind. When I spot an ad for a night shift at a local diner, I figure it's a good place to start over. Quiet, steady, nothing too complicated. The manager, a guy who must be in his late 50s, looks at me from behind the counter. His voice is rough, like he's been doing this job for too long. He slides a manual across the counter, a thick thing with rules of the night shift printed on the cover. "Never open the door in the storage room," he says, barely lifting his eyes from the book. I nod, thinking it's just another weird rule, but I don't ask. I start working, taking care of the few late-night customers. It's a slow night, just the way I like it. The diner is quiet, almost too quiet. I can hear every click of the register, every buzz from the fridge. But there's something off about this place. Something about it keeps gnawing at me, but I can't put my finger on it. I push the thought aside. The night drags on, customers come and go, and I get into a rhythm. It's routine, almost too easy. But I can't ignore the nagging feeling in the back of my mind. There's something about this diner, something I'm missing. But I don't want to dwell on it. I've got a shift to finish, and I'm not about to let my mind wander. Then I hear it. A noise. Faint, like something scraping against the walls. I freeze for a second, but when I look around, there's nothing there. Just the hum of the fridge and the soft buzz of the neon lights outside. I shake my head, telling myself it's nothing. Just my imagination. But it sticks with me. I glance over at the storage room door. The manager's warning echoes in my head. Never open the door in the storage room. I don't know why, but something about that rule feels different. It doesn't seem like just a precaution. There's something behind it, something I don't fully understand yet. But I'm not about to test it. I've got enough to worry about. I keep working, focusing on the customers. But the noise keeps coming, just loud enough to make me second-guess myself. It's like something's moving in there. But I don't look. I can't. It's just a diner, I tell myself. But the more I try to convince myself of that, the harder it gets to ignore the strange pull I feel toward that storage room door. I start to get into a rhythm. The night's winding down. A few stragglers left, but it's mostly quiet now. I'm getting more comfortable with the shift, slipping into the routine. The clock ticks on, and the diner feels like it's folding in on itself. The quiet's almost oppressive. I'm wiping down the counter when I hear the door chime. A customer, older guy with a weathered face, walks out. He leaves a $100 tip on the counter. I freeze. I glance at the clock, 11:15 p.m. Never touch tips left on the counter after 11 p.m. The rule hits me like a slap across the face. The manager's voice echoes in my head as I stare at the bill. "Don't touch it after hours," I mutter under my breath, trying to shake the thought of the cash from my mind. I feel the pull, though. It's like the money is daring me to pick it up. It would be easy. Just a quick grab. But the rule is clear. I stand there, my hand hovering over the bill. It's so tempting, but something holds me back. I pull my hand away, forcing myself to look away from the cash. What's the deal with that rule anyway? I mutter, half to myself. I can't help but wonder why it's so specific. The tip's just money, right? Why does it matter when it's left on the counter? I glance around, like I'm waiting for the answer to pop up from behind the counter. But there's nothing. Just the hum of the fridge and the low buzz of the neon lights outside. No sign of the manager. I shake my head, trying to focus. I'll follow the rule. That's what I'm here for, right? To do the job, stick to the rules. But I still don't get it. Why such a specific rule about a tip? Why not just don't take tips? But this one feels different, like it's more than just a simple guideline. I glance back at the bill, feeling like I'm being watched. I can't get distracted. Not tonight. I grab the cleaning supplies and start wiping down the counter again, forcing myself to focus on something else. It's just a rule. That's all. But the feeling of the $100 bill lying there, untouched, lingers in the back of my mind. The night drags on, and the air feels thicker with every passing minute. I've gotten into a rhythm, but there's something about this place that doesn't sit right. It's not just the silence anymore. It's like the quiet is pressing in on me, wrapping itself around my chest. The clock ticks, each minute dragging slower than the last. I'm wiping down the counter again, trying to focus on anything other than the nagging feeling that I'm not alone. It's a diner, for God's sake. There shouldn't be anything strange about it. But then I hear it. A whisper. Soft at first, barely audible. I stop mid-swipe, my ears straining to catch it. I brush it off. It's probably just the wind outside, or maybe an old pipe creaking. Yeah, that's it. But then it comes again. Louder this time. Sam. My heart skips a beat. It's my name, clear as day. I freeze, my hands hovering over the counter. I glance around. No one's here. No customers. The lights hum, the fridge hums. But that whisper, it's different. Too clear. Too direct. I try to shake it off. I'm just tired, I mutter to myself. Long day, long night. No big deal. But the whispers don't stop. They keep coming, first faint, then louder. It almost feels like they're drawing me in, pulling me toward the storage room. I look up at the clock. It's just past midnight. Still a few hours left. Should I even be here? I'm not imagining this. I can hear them. They keep calling my name, soft and insistent. I get up without thinking. My legs move before my brain can catch up. I step toward the storage room, each step heavier than the last, my heart pounding in my chest. I tell myself it's nothing. I tell myself it's just the stress, the isolation. But my feet keep moving. And then, I'm standing in front of the storage room door. My hand reaches out to the doorknob without me even realizing it. Then it hits me. The rule. Do not respond to voices coming from the storage room. I freeze. The whispers continue, persistent. Sam, come closer. I stop myself just in time, my hand hovering inches from the knob. My heart races, the beat loud in my ears. I want to open that door. Part of me desperately wants to know what's on the other side. What's calling me? The whispers grow louder now, almost angry, like they're trying to force me to listen. My skin prickles. I step back, my heart racing, and I force myself to look away from the door. Time drags, every second stretching longer than the last. I catch myself checking the clock more often than I should. The minutes feel heavier now, like they're sinking into the ground, pulling me with them. It's almost 11:30 p.m., and I'm counting the minutes. The quiet feels almost suffocating at this point, and every creak of the building seems louder than it should. I try to shake the feeling that something's closing in on me. I've been here long enough now. I should be used to it. But there's something about this place, something I can't quite put my finger on. The door. I know I need to lock it. The rule's clear. Always lock the front door twice before 11:59 p.m. I grab the keys from the counter, my hands trembling a bit more than usual. I try to brush it off. It's just nerves. I've locked doors hundreds of times before. This should be no different. The first turn of the key is easy. The door clicks, and I push it closed. But it's that second lock, when my hand turns the key again, that's different. It's like the door is fighting me. The key feels heavy in my hand, the lock stiff, resistant. I turn it again, and there's a small click. But this time, the sound is too deep, too final. I step back, looking at the door. It's locked. It should be. But something doesn't feel right. The second lock, why does it feel like more than just a precaution? It's almost like the door needed to be locked twice. Like it wasn't just about security. I shake it off, trying to focus on the task at hand. I check the door one last time, tugging on the handle. It doesn't budge. It's locked. But as I turn away, I swear I hear something on the other side. A faint scraping sound, almost like nails on wood. I freeze. My skin prickles, but I don't look back. I tell myself it's nothing. Just my imagination. I don't know why, but I feel like I've just crossed some line. I glance at the clock again. My shift should have ended by now. It's well past the time I'm supposed to leave, but something feels off. The diner's still empty, quiet, but the stillness is different now. It's like it's pressing in on me. I should be heading out, but my feet feel rooted to the floor. I want to go. I need to go. But for some reason, I can't make myself move toward the door. I keep telling myself, just leave. It's fine. You've done your job. But the urge to stay, to keep working, is stronger than I expected. The diner feels like a trap now. The rattling, coming from the back of the building, somewhere beyond the kitchen, starts again. Soft at first, like something is tapping against the walls, but then it gets louder, more frantic. It's almost like someone's shaking the entire place. I tell myself it's just the wind. It's just the place settling. But deep down I know better. It's not the wind. I force myself to look at the clock again. 3:42 a.m. I should have left hours ago. That's when it hits me. The rule. Never leave the diner before the sun comes up, even if your shift ends. It's the one rule I didn't really think about, didn't take seriously. But now, standing here with the rattling growing louder, I know why it's there. I can't leave. Not yet. The urge to walk out is almost unbearable, but I fight it. I don't dare break any of these rules. Not after everything I've seen tonight. I need to stay. I have to. The rattling doesn't stop. It only gets worse. It feels like it's coming from every direction now. But I don't move. I stay. The silence in the diner is suffocating. Every minute drags on longer than the last, and the weight of it presses down on me. The rattling from the storage room is constant now, an unyielding sound that makes my skin crawl. It's not the kind of noise you just ignore. It's persistent, like something is trying to get in, or worse, like something's trying to get out. I'm shaking, but I force myself to breathe. I can't let myself break. Not now. If I give in, if I let myself listen to the rattling, to the whispers, everything will crumble. The rules are all I have. They're the only thing keeping me grounded in this place. But they're starting to feel more like chains than safety. Every rattling sound, every creak of the floorboards, every whisper that slithers through the air makes me want to tear the walls down and run. But I can't. I can't risk it. If I open that door, if I break the rules, what happens next? I don't even want to think about it. I grip the counter, my knuckles white, and try to focus on anything but the rattling. I try to tell myself it's just nerves. But the longer I stay, the harder it is to deny that something is very wrong with this place. The rules, they're not just keeping me safe. They're keeping something locked away. And I don't know how much longer I can keep it contained. I'm hanging on by a thread. The rattling from the storage room has reached a fever pitch, and now the whispers have joined in. They're louder now, clearer. It's like someone's calling my name, a voice so familiar that it cuts through the tension like a knife. I want to cover my ears to shut it all out, but it's impossible. The sound is everywhere. I feel the pull, the temptation to open the door. It's overwhelming. If I just peek inside, just for a second, I could put an end to this. I could see what's behind it all, what's behind the door. The whispers are coaxing me, their tones soft but insistent, like they know exactly what I need to hear to break. But I know I can't. The rules are the only thing keeping me safe. If I open that door, I might not come back. The rules, they're the only shield I've got. Without them, I might be lost to whatever's on the other side of that door. I can't break them. Not now. Not after everything that's happened. Not after everything I've learned. But something inside me is weakening. The longer I stay, the harder it gets to resist. Every second feels like it's twisting inside me, pulling me closer to the edge. The whispers are becoming impossible to ignore. The rattling isn't just a sound anymore. It's a pressure, building up, about to explode. And I don't know how much longer I can hold on. The night stretches on, the minutes dragging by like hours. I try to focus on the routine, the small tasks that keep my hands busy, wiping down counters, checking the register. But the silence is louder than ever, oppressive and suffocating. It's as if the diner itself is holding its breath, waiting for something. But then the whispers return. They're faint at first, a barely audible sound in the background of my thoughts. I try to ignore it, chalk it up to the stress, the isolation. But they grow louder, more distinct. I freeze. At first, it's just a distant murmur, like people speaking in another room. But then it becomes clearer, like someone is standing just behind me, their voice so close it feels like they're breathing down my neck. The words are jumbled at first, unfamiliar, nonsensical. But then, I hear something that stops me in my tracks. Sam. Sam, it's me. I feel the blood drain from my face. The voice, it's my mother's voice. My heart skips a beat. It can't be. She's gone. She's been gone for years. The memory of her death, the way she just vanished from my life, is still fresh in my mind. It was a shock, a brutal jolt that shattered everything I knew. She was everything to me, my constant, my anchor. And then one night, she just wasn't there anymore. I remember it clearly. The car crash, the darkness of the night, the rain pounding on the windshield, the way the world seemed to stop when I heard the sound of metal on metal. I had been just a kid, too young to understand why she had to leave so suddenly. I couldn't make sense of it, and I never could. The police ruled it an accident, but there was something about it that never sat right with me. The way she had swerved at the last minute, like she was trying to avoid something. The way she had looked before the crash, her eyes wide, locked on something I couldn't see. It was like she knew something was coming, something I couldn't understand. I try to push it out of my mind, but the voice keeps pulling me back. Sam, it's me. Don't you recognize me? I can't breathe. I step back, my hands shaking as I try to make sense of it. This isn't possible. It can't be her. She's gone. I saw her funeral. I saw the empty casket lowered into the ground. I felt the weight of her absence every day since. But here she is, calling to me from the darkness. I look around the diner, trying to ground myself in the familiar surroundings. The hum of the fridge, the dull glow of the neon lights outside. But the silence presses in, thick and suffocating. The whispers are louder now, clear as day. They're coming from the storage room. I can hear them, even as I try to fight the pull, try to shake myself free from the grip of whatever's happening. Sam, you don't have to be afraid. I'm here. I close my eyes, breathing deeply, trying to steady myself. I can't be hearing this. I'm not hearing this. It's just my mind playing tricks on me. The exhaustion, the isolation, the pressure of the rules, it's all getting to me. But the voice doesn't stop. It's so real, so familiar. It's my mother's voice, soft and comforting, just like it used to be when I was a child, before everything went wrong. I take a step forward, drawn to the sound, my feet moving before I can stop them. But then I remember the first rule: never open the door in the storage room. The words echo in my mind, clear and unwavering. I pause, my hand hovering just above the doorknob. The urge to open it, to step inside, to find her, to finally find some kind of answer, is overwhelming. But I know what will happen if I do. The rules are the only thing that stands between me and whatever's on the other side of that door. If I break them, I won't just lose my job or my safety. I'll lose myself. I'll lose everything. I remember the second rule as well. Do not respond to voices coming from the storage room. These rules, they're not just there to keep me in line. They're my lifeline. They're my only protection from whatever is in that room, from whatever is calling to me. I want to believe it's my mother, that somehow, after all these years, she's come back for me. But deep down, I know better. The voice isn't hers. It's a lure, a trick. It's trying to pull me in, to make me let go of the rules and step into the unknown. I stand frozen, my hands still hovering over the knob, my heart pounding in my chest. The whispers grow louder, but I don't give in. I can't. If I open this door, I'll be lost. I'll be pulled into whatever darkness is waiting behind it, and I don't know if I'll ever make it back. I step back slowly, my legs shaking. The room feels colder now, the silence more oppressive. I want to run, to break free from the hold this place has on me, but I can't. Something keeps me here, something that's stronger than fear. I have to stay. I have to hold on to the rules. Because without them, there's nothing left. And I know if I break them, I'll never be the same. The door remains closed, but the whispers don't stop. They keep calling to me, pulling me in, and all I can do is resist. For now. But how long will I be able to hold on? The rattling doesn't stop, it intensifies. It's no longer just an erratic noise. It has a rhythm now, a pattern that almost feels alive. The whispers, too, grow sharper, cutting through the air like a blade. They're no longer just calling my name. They're pleading, begging, demanding. Every inch of my body feels like it's vibrating with the sound, the weight of it pressing down on me. I know I can't give in, but the strain is unbearable. I glance at the clock. The night feels endless, like time itself has slowed to a crawl. I think about the rules, clutching onto them like a lifeline. They've kept me safe so far, or at least alive, but they're also a constant reminder of how precarious my situation is. The storage room door rattles violently, as if something, or someone, is trying to force it open from the other side. My heart races, my breath shallow and ragged. It feels like the door could burst open any second, and I don't want to know what will happen if it does. Just one peek, Sam, the voice says louder now. It's not just my mother's voice anymore. It shifts, warping into something deeper, darker. Sometimes it's her, sometimes it isn't. The changes are subtle, but enough to make my skin crawl. I press my palms against my ears, trying to block it out, but it doesn't work. The sounds aren't just external. They're in my head now, crawling through my thoughts like invasive vines. I squeeze my eyes shut, whispering to myself, "It's not real. It's not real. Just follow the rules. That's all you have to do." But doubt creeps in. The rules, who wrote them? Why do they exist? Are they really protecting me? Or am I just a pawn in some twisted game? These questions buzz in my mind, threatening to drown out my resolve. And then it happens. The whispers stop. The rattling ceases. The sudden silence is almost worse than the noise. It's thick, heavy, and oppressive. I feel the shift in the air, like the diner itself is holding its breath, waiting for me to make a move. I turn toward the storage room, and for the first time, the door isn't rattling. It's perfectly still, eerily so. But something about it feels wrong. It's as if the door is watching me, waiting for me to break. I take a step back, my legs trembling. I can't do this. I can't give in. The rules are the only thing keeping me tethered, the only thing standing between me and whatever nightmare lies on the other side of that door. But the whispers return, softer this time, almost gentle. "You don't have to be afraid, Sam. Just open the door. It's okay. I promise." I clench my fists, digging my nails into my palms, using the pain to ground myself. But it's not enough. The voice is too convincing, too familiar. I take another step back, bumping into the counter. My eyes dart to the clock again. 3:59 a.m. The hour feels significant, though I don't know why. All I know is that I have to make it to dawn. I have to hold on. But then, the air grows colder, so cold that I can see my breath fogging in front of me. The lights flicker, and for a brief moment I see something. A shadow. It's not in the storage room. It's in the diner, standing near the counter. I freeze, my body locking up with fear. The shadow doesn't move, doesn't make a sound, but I can feel its presence, heavy and suffocating. The whispers fade into a low hum, and the shadow tilts its head as if studying me, waiting for me to make a mistake. I think about the rules again, repeating them in my mind like a mantra. Never break routine. Never open the storage room door. Never respond to the voices. I can't afford to falter. Not now. Not with whatever this thing is watching me. The clock ticks over to 4 a.m., and the shadow vanishes. Just like that, it's gone, as if it was never there. But the cold lingers, and so does the fear. I know this isn't over. It's just beginning. I take a shaky breath, forcing myself to move, to do something other than stand there like a deer caught in headlights. I wipe down the counter, my hands trembling, the simple task giving me a small sense of control. But the questions remain, gnawing at the edges of my mind. What happens if I break a rule? What happens if I don't? And most importantly, what is waiting for me when the sun finally rises? For now, all I can do is wait, and hope that I'm strong enough to make it through the rest of the night. The whispers are constant now, wrapping around me like a second skin. They've become part of the silence, part of the air I breathe. Even when I try to block them out, they linger in the corners of my mind, relentless and insistent. I glance at the storage room door again. It's always there, a quiet threat that never leaves my sight. The rules keep me safe. I tell myself that over and over, but I can feel the cracks forming. Each night, the pull gets stronger. Each whisper feels more convincing. I sit behind the counter, staring at the clock. Time doesn't feel real anymore. Minutes blend into hours, and the nights stretch on forever. I don't know how much longer I can do this. The diner isn't just a place, it's alive, feeding off my fear, my exhaustion. I know it's waiting for me to fail. The whispers shift, and I hear her voice again. My mother. It's okay, Sam, she says softly, almost lovingly. You don't have to fight anymore. Just open the door. Come home. I can't break. Not tonight. Not ever. But deep down, I know the truth. One day I will break. One day, I'll give in to the whispers, or the rattling, or the endless weight of the rules. The diner will claim me like it's claimed others before me. And when that day comes, no one will even know I was here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, please subscribe for more creepy tales. If you'd like to support the channel, consider buying me a coffee on Ko-Fi. Every bit helps. Links in the description.